us. I use the analogy of a garbage bag. And you know how when you put a new garbage bag in the bag, sometimes it has those air bubbles at the top. And even though the bag is new and it's fresh, unless you just just take the bag off the can for just a little bit to let the air out, you can't get new stuff in there. It'll just kind of stay at the top. And I made the analogy, I drew the comparison that the air in the bag, that new garbage bag, is sometimes like the air in our life, the filler in our life, what we pick up over time. Things and attitudes and thoughts and behaviors and ways of being and thinking that block us to being and filling out our capacity, living this life as best and as well as we can. So what we're holding on to blocks us from having what we want to hold. Does that make sense? It can't get to us because it's blocked by what we insist on holding on to. And unless we let go to let in, we'll always operate at less than our capacity. We'll always experience less of what the good God has for us. And since the goal is to live well, not just in word, but in practice, I want to offer you a few questions to help you just kind of explore where you might be holding on to and blocking what you might want to hold. The first question is, where's the hole? And all that means is, what was done? Let me make sure I get that right. What was done but shouldn't have been? The hole. We may think of it as what's missing. What didn't we get? What do we believe we should have gotten or we should have done but didn't? Where's the hurt? What happened or what was done but should not have been? And 3, what's the hope? And generally that means, what are you hoping will change? Who or what are you hoping will change? Good morning, Jose. Who or what are you hoping will change? Instead of accepting it as it is. Now that doesn't mean you don't want better. But what it means is that you are not making something or someone becoming different the contingency for you being better. That means whether or not my husband or my wife or my child or my job situation changes in the way that I'm hoping it will or want it to, I'm not holding that out as a contingency for me feeling good about life, for me understanding that God is still here. He's still operating in my life. He's still with me. That doesn't block me to seeing that. So my attitude, my sense, my engagement in life is not contingent on what happens or what doesn't happen. I'm not holding out for something or someone to change before I feel good about where and who I am and who and where God is. What are y'all thinking about that? Anybody have examples about how you might have been, or you see, just strikes you immediately? Oh, I think I might be doing that. Oh, I think that might be happening. I remember when I was working in corporate America, and I had in my mind what I wanted to be doing, and it wasn't matching up what I was doing. And I went through this period where I honestly super unhappy because I wanted the situation to change. And I'm going to tell you, after years of being very unhappy, the change came from me. The change was my decision to walk in each day, to engage whatever came before me, to decide that however or whatever reason he was using this for, that I would do the best that I could in the situation, and I wouldn't wait for it to look like I wanted it to look, for me to be grateful for where he had placed me. That was the link. And over time, eventually, the situation changed. But the change came in me first. And so I'm asking you, when you look at those 3 questions, do you have areas of your life where you know it applies? Look at your life and see what areas it may apply. And are you good with the results? Are you good with what's happening? At this point, are you good with where you are? What it's been yielding you? And if you are, no problem. If you are not, ask God to lead you and be with you as you explore how to walk toward different. Three scriptures I left you with. Mary, I understand. I let the hurt hold me back emotionally. And hurt can do that because hurt is like this residual. It's like this residue. And you know one of the reasons that, or one of the ways that you work through that, and I'm just going to offer it and you tell me what you think. You guys jump in and tell me what you think. I don't know that you ever don't remember. I don't know that that's the case. I don't know that you ever don't remember that something or someone damaged you or hurt you, offended you, or affected you. I don't ever think you don't remember that. But I think when the thought comes up, what you get the opportunity to do is decide how it will impact you in the moment. So yeah, I remember how I was. I remember what I did. I remember what she said. But I get to decide in this moment how that affects me. And if God has already decided who you are and what he has planned for you, who are you to decide different? Who are you to act different? And that's what we do when we give power and control over that thing or that person or that comment or that incident or that experience. That's what we do. We decide that we are God in that moment. And I know that sounds strong, but if he's told us one thing and we're doing another thing, what else is there? We've decided that we know best in the moment, or we're going to go this way as opposed to what he has already ordained in the path that we should walk to bring us closer and more concert and connection with him. We're doing contrary. So we've decided in the moment we are God. And so one of the things that has helped me, Mary, is that in the moment when that comes to me, when the reminder comes of what happened or what I said or what I didn't do or what I did or what she did or how that went down, is that I say, you know what? Yeah, that's true. Absolutely. That's true. That happened. But what's my truth now? What's the impact now? And I get to decide that. Why? Because God has given me the power to do that. He has given me power over everything, not just a little thing. And the more I say that, the more I act like that, the more I walk in that, the more it feels real and true for me. Because in the beginning, it may feel like you lying, right? Like, yeah, you pretending. But he said we had the victory, and we either believe him or we don't. And so if we believe him, then we act from the point of we already won. Not that we working to get the win. There's a difference. When I know I've won, my attitude, my perspective, my approach is different than if I don't know, I ain't sure. God is already given us certainty. And the more we act like that, the more we act like we believe him. And that's how we act like we believe him. We acknowledge, yes, that happened. But yes, my God is here. And he gives me the power to determine how that will impact my life going forward. I didn't mean to get preachy. I felt like I got preachy at that moment, but I felt that strongly. Because Mary, I've been there. I've had that experience. And it's a constant everyday thing. It ain't like, yeah, let me get rid of that and move on. I think it's an ongoing, everyday, moment by moment decision. And at different points in our life, I think different things come up. Things that we thought we may have dealt with, they come up, they may come back up. And so it's a constant and consistent conscious decision and choice to choose what God says over what we may see, what we may feel, or what we may believe in the moment. We let him trump it. Grace, I hear you, not to look back. Daphne, I see you getting out of your own way. Absolutely. And so what I want to encourage you guys to do is just as we go into the weekend, just let this marinate. Just let it marinate. And even though the thoughts that we're saying may not necessarily be new, I want to encourage you is not to take them for granted in the sense of, let God do a new thing. Let him show you a new take on what you may have already seen. Give him space to give you a fresh perspective. Help you see it in a way that clicks for you, in a way that it hadn't clicked before. Because that may be what you need to just let go of the thing that was blocking before. Right? You couldn't maneuver as well, but in the moment, he shows you just kind of a different take on it, a different perspective, a fresher look. And you're like, man, I never saw it like that before. Or it just clicks for you and it's easier to move through where you may have not been before. So I think it's an ongoing, ever-evolving process. And I encourage you to just be open. Ask him to open you in a way that you hadn't been before. And to see what you may have not, in a way that you had not maybe seen it before. Anybody else want to weigh in on that? Okay. I'll sum up the questions again. What's the whole? What wasn't done but you think should have been? What you did but you think you shouldn't have? Mary, I feel like I took a deep breath. Yes. 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 You don't have to hold and carry what you've been carrying. Do you want to let it go and let him or not? Don't keep picking it up. And the way we don't do that is we keep looking at him versus looking at what we may see or think we know. Absolutely. A breath, that's a beautiful analogy. A beautiful analogy. So what's the whole? What wasn't done? What didn't you do? Somebody else do that you think should have been? Where's the hurt? What happened but you like, that shouldn't have happened. I shouldn't have done that. What's the hope? Where or who might you be waiting on to change so that you can change? Your change shouldn't be contingent on something or someone else changing. We're accountable and responsible independently to God alone, and so is everybody else. Absolutely. Acknowledgement is key. But it's not just what we know, it's what we do. So revelation is one thing, but revelation doesn't lend itself to reformation, if you will, or a complete shift unless we get active about it. And so there are a lot of things that I know and you know and we all know, but what are we doing about what we know? And I think that's a moment by moment, daily decision. We get a thought, we get an opportunity to either do what we've always done, approach it the way we've always approached it, or not. What will we do the next time we're tempted to be like Grace, like you said, like Lot's wife, and look back? What will we do the next time, Daphne, like you said, we're tempted to get in our own way, tell God what it is, as opposed to listening and following what he's already said? What will we do? So we get these opportunities all the time, every day, if we pay attention. What will we decide to do with what we know? So yes, he can reveal to us, but what will we do with the revelation he provides us? It requires our action. And we engage his power to act and to really manifest his promise in our life. This is my thinking. What do you you just feel free to comment and touch on what you think or how you are receiving that. So what's the whole? Where's the hurt? And what's the hope? Those are the questions that I would just invite you to marinate on over the weekend and throughout life, not just this weekend. See what you come up with. These are just thoughts and ideas to prompt you in your own journey, your own exploration. I hope that they're helpful to you. I trust God is faithful and that he will work in your life like he promises us. I believe him. And so stand with me and join me in believing that he does and is who he says he is. And he will give us the power to do and be who he says we are. I want to leave you with 3 scriptures. One, 2 Corinthians 3:17, where the Spirit of God is, there is freedom. God, there's no hang-ups in God. And the more we get free from them, the more we experience that freedom. And it's not just to do whatever we want. It's to do what we couldn't do without him. 2, Philippians 2:13, it's God who gives us the power to do, the power and the desire to do what pleases him. So we don't act in our own power. Without him, yes, we will be looking back. Yes, we will get in our own way. Yes, we will be held up by the hurt. But with him, he gives us the ability to move through. Little by little, step by step, moment by moment, choice by choice. 3, we destroy every proud obstacle that keeps us from knowing God. That is 2 Corinthians 10:15. Anything that keeps us from living out God's fullness, not just fraction, but his fullness, is an obstacle. Emotional, physical, spirit, anything is an obstacle that prevents us from getting closer to him. So I encourage you to gauge his power, engage his power to tear it down. Brick by brick, memory by memory, thought by thought, tear by tear. I am sending incredible energy and blessings y'all's way. Prayers for you to walk into this weekend and this coming week. Just hearing the Holy Spirit talk to you, hearing him whisper to you, and you actually listening, and you actually following through with whatever he says do, without question, without delay. And when you miss the mark, to get back up again. And not use that as an excuse not to. I am sending you blessings and prayers for just a fantastic rest of the day and a wonderful weekend. If something today has resonated with you, please share it in a comment like you've been doing, so that others can feed on it. Others can be built up by it. People don't always say it in the moment. They don't always comment. They don't always see it at the time, but God has a way of putting things where they need to be, when they need to be it. And so just, if it's on your mind to comment or share, please do, so that you can be a part of his plan. I look forward to seeing you next Tuesday, 11 o'clock Central Time, here, Facebook Live, for the next live Daily Dose. I thank you for joining us. And just be blessed. You know how you're like, yes, I just want to give you a big hug. So this is a big hug from me. Just blessings to you. Okay? Look forward to seeing you next time.